Okay. I think we are live. Let me double check. Yes, I see myself. So awesome. Okay. Let me go back to my Zoom window so I can see you all. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm Sudha Jamthe, and this is Sudha Live. I am excited to be talking to you for live because I have been in travel mode, was in Italy and Spain last couple weeks, and I shared some clippings from that and from all the travel, and didn't get to talk to you in the live in the real time zone. So, and if you see, there is another me. I'm going to shut that off right here because I was creating a backup plan to make sure that I am streaming, and looks like I am. So I'm going to close that window. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now you just have one of me, and I get to talk to you, and I'm not talking to myself. So for those of you who are watching me on LinkedIn here, I'm streaming this onto YouTube and LinkedIn like I always do, but I will be looking only at LinkedIn for your questions. So I need you to comment, ask questions, engage, join. Okay, it is actually live. Okay. So I need you to just join me to, make sure that I'm live and I'm interacting with you because I feel like I'm looking at myself and talking to myself. Okay. So the exciting thing this week for me is, like I put in the picture when I was showing what's the live about, is I went to San Francisco. I live in San Jose in Silicon Valley, and many of you are joining from Asia in your morning, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And let me share my screen and not even talk. I'll tell you what my excitement is about. Just a minute. Window. And I hope you're able to hear the voice as I share my screen. Let me make sure that screen is shared. Shared screen. Let's preview. Okay. Tell me you're able to see this. And I want to make sure that you're able to hear my audio too. Let me go back. Okay, I moved it too fast. That's the Waymo self-driving car. I got to get a taxi ride. Okay, so I'm going to pause that. I'm going to get out of my shared screen window, guys. Please tell me you're able to see my shared screen because I had some issue last time. I can't stop listening to that song. I love it. Okay, I'm going to come back. Are you guys able to see my shared screen? Are you excited about what you saw? Are you still seeing my face? Let me go back. Your screen sharing, yeah. Because I'm able to see my own window, so screen sharing is paused. Okay, so I'm coming back to LinkedIn to see you guys, to see what you have to say. Oh, back. Oh God, I'm back. I'm talking to myself. Ah, I see Brian. Hi, Ryan. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Were you able to see my Waymo ride? Please say yes. I just want to make sure that my screen share was working. Saw my Waymo ride. Yes. Please say yes. Awesome. Because that made my week. I have been talking about this for such a long time, and I have taught autonomous vehicle business at Stanford, and this has been a dream. And the best part is, I'm talking. Okay, every time I click on LinkedIn to come look at you guys, my audio comes back and I start talking to myself. I hear myself. So I'm just going to leave it. Okay, Ryan, please tell me if you're able to see the screen that I shared, because I need to be able to share a lot more screens to share a lot more fun stuff this week. Okay, so the big excitement was that I ended up going to San Francisco, and they have the official taxi ride. So it's like a Uber or Lyft app, or a blah blah car. And I just was able to go into an app and say I want to go from this point to this point. And San Francisco also Humpty Bumpty, so it's beautiful ride going down. It was like a roller coaster ride. I loved it. Very slow within the road speed limit. I felt very safe. And the Barbie song that you heard was one of the streaming options. They also had Bollywood songs, so it was not so quiet. I showed one of my students, and immediately, we started brainstorming on what else could we do, because that's exactly what we did in our autonomous vehicle class. As to, okay, now if the car can truly drive autonomously and we feel safe, and the permits are there and all that stuff which is happening, and there's a business model, in this case there's taxi, now what is the experience inside the car? And I could sleep, work, listen to music. That is not enough. We need to do more, because we need to think of the future, right? It is not just like, okay, we are driving cars today and there is traffic and we are bored and we are alone and we want to listen to music, and we still need to concentrate on the road. We don't need to concentrate on the road. That means it's a totally different experience. What should that experience be? And the car has three digital twins. So it's one about the driver behavior, one about the actual equipments and the brakes and stuff, the parts, and the other is about the environment. And so all that data is being sent, and all that data is going to the cloud. And in the Waymo car, as soon as we went in, the first time I went in, they actually said, almost like when we go in a plane and they have this, announcement, and they say, watch here in case of an emergency, do this, that. They had all that the very first time. The second time I went in, they just said, she's been here before, and they recognized me, and they didn't give me that. They just asked me to wear seatbelt. And so there was like a women voice talking, and it was very smooth, very, very simple, very simple. And I have actually commented about it, because it shows a screen where it shows, what the car sees. And so when other cars are coming or people are crossing, it shows all that. I've seen that in the Tesla now, but seeing it in the Waymo, I actually felt safe. I felt, okay, I felt like that user interface of showing me that what the car is seeing on the road was almost like a kind of silent communication with the car. I'm dying to communicate with the car. I want more than silent communication. So this was amazing. This was amazing. I'm going to go to San Francisco just for that and do more rides and try different kind of terrains and stuff. And I need to figure out what else can I do. The other thing is they have a camera watching us. And they say that up front, we have a camera. And then they have in the screen at the bottom, there is this option that you can call for support. And they say, we are not listening to you, except when you press support and we are talking to you and doing remote monitoring. Other than that, we are not listening to you. That's their promise. I mean, we have all these voice assistant devices who say they're not listening, but they listen on invocation. In this case, it's not by invocation, right? It's by pressing a button, which means manually it connects. And so I could trust it. I could totally trust it. So I loved it. Okay, I'm coming back to the LinkedIn window to see what you guys are thinking. Okay, so do you have questions for me? Do you have any comments? Because what I do in the Sudha Live is, oh my God, I'm talking again. I didn't have to make a declaration and come to the LinkedIn window like that. Okay, so bear with me one more time. I'm going to refresh to see if anybody else is commenting, who else is watching. Lots of comments. I'm surprised. Okay, let me see because I'm not able to see those comments, guys. Okay, so I think I 1 minute. I need to find a way to mute this off, and then I need to play this live. That way, I will be able to see you live. Okay, so please talk to me now. Okay, so I appreciate that. Okay, so I've muted the window on LinkedIn, so I don't need to go back and get my voice back again. And now I can talk to you guys. I can watch the comments, and it said 6 comments, but it didn't show me all of them. So if I didn't answer your question, please come back, add a comment. I will get you the answers. I will respond. Okay, so the big excitement was the autonomous vehicle. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about it. I have a lot more clips and stuff, and I will share that. Like everything that I share here, it is going to be on Sudha Live. So on the Jamthe newsletter. So I will come back and share that with you. Okay, there's bunch of different things that's been happening. One is, in this whole generative AI search wars, Google has integrated the whole image capability into the Google search, which means you can chat, ask questions. They already added the chat. Hema Pudraju had commented, done a blog earlier. She's the leader on the search side and writes blogs and is my colleague from my eBay pass. So I admire her, and so I'm very happy tracking her work. So she had said we can chat, not just come like put a prompt and look for things in search. And now you can also add images, and we also have a capability to generate images. So if you have signed up for it, for the integration with the search AI, then it will give you the generated images also. So they've added all those things very seamlessly. It's very wonderful. And I believe Bing has OpenAI integrated in it, the ChatGPT integrated in it. I have not had a chance to play with it. I don't know whether the experience is as seamless. But I'll try it out and let you guys know, and you can try it and let me know too. So that's the big thing, that that it is multimodal these days. So don't think of generative AI as it's generating images, generating voice, this and that. And then the next wave seems to be, okay, now we can build applications, and it's it all seems to be coming to LLMs and chatbots. So if we can engage and have that conversation, how do we create a very human-centric design? So that's where the tech is going. And to make that happen, there's a lot of options to collect our voice to talk, right? So if I'm in the self-driving car, why can't the car talk to me? There's a human voice talking to me, but it could have more interaction, right? So that could be an experience inside the vehicle itself. So there's a lot of different ways. Different companies are saying, okay, we need to capture the input from users and not just in chat. And so why OpenAI already had in the ChatGPT app had said, with the ChatGPT app, we've added a mic interface so you can talk to it instead of just chatting. So that happened sometime back, maybe 3 weeks back. Now I'm finding there are devices, IoT devices, that are being launched. And there is one from Alex Ohanian. I think he's funded it, a new device where you can wear it like a wearable, and it will actually listen to you and transcribe, or like do the like what AI assistant does on Zoom. It will summarize all your conversations. And that's just the beginning. This is all they're saying. And somebody had commented about this on LinkedIn. I went crazy and said, if it's just listening to me and summarizing, it's it like a Evernote taking notes for me. That summarization is just a very basic table stake with generative AI. I would want it to glean insights, which is called information extraction. That's a capability of generative AI. I would like it to do that. They're not promising that. And the other thing is, it's not enough if it's just listening, taking notes, and summarizing. And that's not life, normal life, the way we interact and go about. That's great. It's a certain value, but I'm not going to wear a device like that, like a dog collar. For that, I need more. What would that experience be? Is the one I was thinking, that if I'm collecting information, we are social beings, and here I am talking to you on a Friday evening, and we have things to share with each other, and it has to be two ways too. So I was just thinking, what if this device could communicate with another device? How many of you remember the IoT device, which was for tracking, and we could track keys and stuff? And then Apple ended up creating an equivalent of that with their own device, tiny device, that could track luggages and whatnot. I don't know what happened to Tile exactly, but Tile had this ability of communicating with other tiles into a whole ecosystem. So I'm just thinking, if I'm going to wear some wearable, it's going to listen to my voice, and then it's going to use some generative AI and try to summarize it or extract it, and maybe like Google Photos, organize it for me in some form. I don't want that. I want more. I want it to be able to communicate with other people's devices and have some kind of social interaction and do something more exciting. I don't know what the killer app could be. I mean, in this LinkedIn comment, I was just thinking, what if it could go off and create like this AI talking to other people's AI? It was presented, all these devices are being sold as your personal AI. I am a believer that my home is going to become an AI, and it's going to talk and turn off my temperature setting and whatnot for me, and set the music. I would like it to cook for me. Like to do things as soon as I enter. My car is definitely going to become an AI, or it has AI in it, which right now it's snooping around and listening. But I want it to have a personality and give me some control, give me some trust that it is not, invading my privacy. But it's going to happen. And I've written about automated buildings and how buildings are going to have AI, and it's like the home, but it is for corporate buildings, and it's going to have a personality. And think of it as we are going from the home, I jump into a car, I go into work. So it's three different environment, and my AI should be able to communicate to the next AI, or maybe they are interconnected. So the dream of large companies operating in all these spaces, like Amazon has an AI in the car, AI at home. The idea is that they will continue the context of my conversation from one place to another. And prior to generative AI, we didn't have this ability to even think that AI can understand context. What I'm talking about, that I leave home, maybe I'm on a call, talking to a colleague, I jump into the car and I'm continuing the conversation. I don't think that context exists today. The individual device, like when we chat with ChatGPT and I'm saying something, it says, okay, the next sentence it talks to me, it understands context. That's the primitive level of AI that we have today. But my vision is that we will have AI that is personal for different spaces or open spaces, and it'll hop and continue with us. And we should have some kind of seamless interface so that we can switch or set it up, which we trust and all that stuff, so that we're not like kind of switching and tapping as we are moving around. It sounds too crazy. But that would be, I do believe that we are going to get to that space of, personal AI and omnipresent AI all around. I'm not even talking general AI or something else, AI taking over the world. I'm not talking that. Just feature wise, product wise, this is doable. And so IoT having an AI seems exciting for me because I'm a big IoT fan. And last week I didn't get to show you because I was showing the video clip of my whole Sudha Live was like a video clip I put together from Europe. So I didn't get to show you. Ken Haran was here at Weekly Vet. Some of you are lucky to watch that. And he was the person who introduced me to this concept of this social IoT. So how IoT can be social, and how, now he is the chief growth officer for UIB, which creates AI platforms for all kinds of companies, and allows customers to interact in multimodal, multi-channel capability. And he came to and talked about how not to launch ChatGPT, how not to launch an intelligent chatbot like ChatGPT. And it was fun conversation because Emanuele and I had done a bunch of visits in Europe, and we had talked to companies about how they were going to use generative AI, and they were very excited about the possibilities. And we were still at that basic, okay, I see it can do this, I've played with this, and possible, and application level discussion. But how do we take the capability of generative AI, map it to a real business problem, into a real data set that the person I'm talking to, the business owner who has access to it, and actually build product. That product strategy is our exciting sweet spot that we are working to build. And when Ken was talking about the same thing, Ken said, start with a business problem, engage all the stakeholders, create the right business experience, then go build it. And when you launch it, make sure that everybody knows, and then there's use and engagement towards it. So it was kind of, his company has been building chatbots for large corporations for real business use cases, but he's talking about how do you do that in a corporate setting across multiple different stakeholders, and the communication that's required so that the app gets used and the engagement is up and things like that, right? Because if you build something and if you don't have your business users using it, you're not going to train the AI to kind of get to its full optimal capacity to reach the ROI that you're aspiring for. So that was the lesson. So if you missed it, all our yeah, I know I'm not sharing the screen yet. So all our, let me come back, share my screen. I'm on a Chrome, that's why I have to do things differently. I have to do a tab. Where is my tab? I hope I'm showing you the right tab. Don't know. It says new tab, maybe this is the one. Let me see. It could be the other one. Okay. So I'm basically going to show you a beautiful link where you can get to, no, I don't want to go there. Where is it, guys? Okay, let me try this. Nope, this is not the one. Okay, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to copy this and do this back again for you, so there's no confusion. I have two similar looking open tabs. Okay, new tab. Here we go. Okay, so let me just type this and get there, not be lazy. So bit.ly/weeklyvet registration will take you to weeklyvet. I'm going to go to weeklyvet playlist. That was easy. Okay, so you're able to see my screen, right? Okay, so basically I have come to the archive of weeklyvet, and you can go to last week's one with our own Ken.
Also, most job, and I think this is really the secret behind it, if there's this, black box of why recruiting is so incredibly powerful. Most recruiting AI is about evaluating the person.
Yeah.
It's about that they're the target, they're to be pulled apart, and most AI is just looking for a reason to throw them away.
Okay, I just wanted to give you a little taste of Ken's presentation, and he was giving an example with recruiting using chatbots. Okay.
What?
This is
what? To build software and to build
I'm
AI.
sorry for just quickly jumping in without context. See, this is like not being like ChatGPT and just like not giving you context. So this is Pierre Lacombe from the most recent weekly wed, and he was talking about no code building. He has this whole platform to build Voltap. It's called Voltap. He's given his name as Pierre Voltap. He's not Pierre Voltap, he's Pierre Lacombe. Voltap is his app platform. You can build plug and play Lego like pieces. You put that together and build a whole website or a mobile app. And he's coming up with a version where you can integrate into a lot of different LLMs.
How can you do that? So basically,
So I'm going to not show that now because it's like just playing a lot of old videos is not cool. I need you to go look at it, look at whatever you want. So two things I showed a quick snippet, and I'm trying to manage time here. One is with Ken talking about how not to build a chatbot, and the other is with Pierre Lacombe telling us how to build websites, mobile sites, integrating into large language models, various different models, all using my favorite topic of no code. We didn't get to actually play with the demo and go deeper with Pierre's session. So I'm hoping that some of you who attended it or some of you are watching this would be intrigued and want to do something with me, and we can do a project, and I'm interested in testing something on the no code front. Okay. I've been talking about one of the things I've been talking about, what I would like to build, you mean? One of the things I've been talking about is my book on Amazon, the generative AI. It's generative AI, a primer for product and business managers. It's a Kindle book. It's a couple hundred pages on Kindle. It looked like 300. It's actually 200-page book, and it explains all the different models. What is generative AI for business, how for product managers, and the ethics of it, a lot of references and whatnot. So I would like to take that, because that's my content, and do fine tuning. And we had a couple weeks back, we had a session with Yashwant showing us LangChain and how to use LangChain to integrate between ChatGPT and do this with the book or any your own data source. Didn't work for me, because what LangChain does is it sits between my data source and ChatGPT, right? So that's like a middle piece. And I say, here's my data source, which in this case is my book data. LangChain reads it. And then ChatGPT is this vast thing which knows the whole world, right? And so ChatGPT, instead of giving me a chatbot interface where my students can come and ask questions about generative AI only and get information only from my book, ChatGPT wants to gobble up all this content into its brain and give a chatbot interface that will have ChatGPT plus my content. And so after that, you can talk anything about anything in the world additional to my book, which is like talking to ChatGPT and feeding it my book content, which is not as useful, because the whole idea is there's tons of stuff about generative AI out there. So you can Google it. Now you can chat with Bing, you can chat with Google, but it'll throw so much stuff at you, right? So my idea is I have concisely written up stuff, and so I want you to be able to chat and get that information. And instead of that, it will take that information and also the world information and hallucinate and give a lot of stuff. And that's not what I want. So didn't work for me. So I'm still on the lookout for what can I use. I heard that H2O has integrated multiple LLM platforms like various versions of Llama, ChatGPT or the GPT version and all that, and allows me to do something similar. I've not had a chance to play with it. So I'm still on the lookout for what can I do. And this is a general enterprise problem, because you want to take your own data, fine tune an LLM so that you can have a chatbot doing exactly what you want, behaving within the realms of what you want it to do. So if it's going to provide customer service for a travel agent, that's what it should be doing. It should not be talking about the world. It should not be singing songs. Whatever else, right? So and you need the integrity of protecting your own data, privacy, whether it has cybersecurity, all that other good stuff comes with it. So that's the thing that I'm looking to do. So if you're interested, you're welcome. Ping me. Let me see what else you have on, whether you have anything else. You're talking to me. I still have 2 LinkedIn windows. Okay. So if you have questions, you can talk to me, guys. I'm happy to. Unfortunately, I think the way LinkedIn is doing it is it's making me reload, and every time I reload, um, I have to hear my voice again. So, um, 1 second. Let me go back. Lina's saying something. Okay, the mute is staying on. Lina, I could not capture your comment. I just heard you say Waymo, but I wanted to see whether you had a question for me or comment for me. So I'm happy to answer that. Okay, so obviously the world of the search has integrated stuff. World of Sudha has gone and seen Waymo. Other than that, there is more cool stuff happening in the world. So let me see. Where's my other window? Is this the one? Yes. So, Women in AI is this amazing, amazing group of women from around the world, and there are women in AI groups everywhere. And this is Women in AI North America, Canada, and Mexico, who came together and organized this Women in AI awards for this year. And they were in Toronto on the 18th. Hundreds of different women's various different categories was brilliantly done. Unfortunately, I could not go because I was already maxed out on my travel and needed to go reintroduce myself back to my home. But I wanted to show you one of the categories because it's it's one thing saying this. I mean, there are amazing women who got selected in various different categories. I was one of the winners in the jury selection category, which is people who don't fit in one of the categories. There's 11 of us like that in the world that they picked to congratulate and give us an award. So thank you, guys. But what I thought I would showcase here is the volunteers, because with nothing would happen without these women. And within that, they had like volunteer category, and everything is nominated, and then there's like a whole peer review done, and then they pick the winners. So it was beautiful. So the Canada winners, I'm going to congratulate them: Kathy Ong, Seinabu, Goe, Nidia. Let me see who else. In Mexico, the winners is Yvette Sanchez Bravo, Samantha Delphin Azuaro, and the USA winners are Janya and our own Sunny Zhang. Congratulations. So thank you for doing what you're doing. It's brilliant. They have host of programs where they host hackathons for getting new entrepreneurs. They have speaker series. They have like a mentorship programs. They have a lot more. I don't even know enough to sell you about how amazing they are, but from whatever I have seen, I've felt it very, very inspiring. The other category of stuff that I'm seeing this week is all about AI ethics, policy. There's tons of stuff that's happening. So I'm going to be sharing all that in the Jamthe newsletter. So I will add a comment at bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. Maybe I should give you that. Bit.ly. Let me share that window. Let me come back and share a window. So for those of you who are not signed up to my newsletter, you don't need to sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up if you want an email coming to you. This is also the prompt engineering newsletter. The prompt engineering webinar is what it's called, but it's you sign up for a newsletter if that's a topic that you would be interested. But what I wanted to show you is the weekly newsletter called bit.ly Jamthe newsletter. That's my weekly newsletter that goes out. And so you don't need to sign up. If you sign up, you'll get an email on Mondays, thanks to Pariya Sarin. Otherwise, you can just go here and see all the archives each week. If you don't want to, a push notification, you want pull, go look at this, and you would see all the different links. The Sudha Live would be embedded. The weekly wed will be embedded. The interesting thing is, the various different jobs and calls and reading resources. I update them every week, and then a bunch of learning resources, including my LinkedIn courses, whatnot. But anything that I find useful that would help you on your AI journey in every form, that's what is here. And everything that I'm sharing here today will be there in the whole place, right? In the Jamthe newsletter. And then the other thing that inspired me this week was an amazing book that's in pre-order, I believe. You know, given my work with IoT Day women and whatnot, I was actually, thinking, AI carries a lot of bias. And so it is trained by data. So if it takes the existing data with the patriarchy baked in, how do we create a world that is better than bringing us back 100 years or 200 years back? And this is a book called Gender Reboot. And this is from Eleanor Fournier Toombs. And it explores gender norms and women's rights in the age of AI. And so I'm not going to read this whole thing out for you. I'm going to pre-order. And then once I read the book, I will have something to say. So hope you will check it out. And congratulations to Eleanor. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, so the other thing is there's been tons of jobs. There has been, let me see what else is here. So there is a job on new urban mechanics director at the city of Boston. There are data science jobs from professor jobs from Yale University. I got a prompt for a prompt engineering job. So if any of you, that's why I wanted to show you the newsletter. If any of you are on the newsletter or you've followed Robert Schwenker's prompt engineering webinar, or taken it, or you're generally familiar with prompt engineering, and this is for you, I'm happy to make a referral. So that was one that just came my way. I don't have a place to point and show you that. There was also this National Fair Housing Alliance. They have a responsible AI policy researcher job, which was also interesting. And then in Stanford University, the HR department in the communication team has 3 open positions. So that was also exciting for me. And then one of the other topics that is very dear to me is teaching kids general tech. And specifically in today's world, I'm trying to build out a curriculum. It's a work in process project for me to build a curriculum on how to teach girls. I'm doing this with a group of girls, but it could be any kids, about AI and LLMs. And my goal is specifically, how do I teach a group of kids? And this is class in English. Maybe I'll have a translator based on play who I choose as a subset. But the idea is I teach them LLM, and based on that, I would guide them. And I'll train a trainer to work with them locally so that they would be able to build out the machine translation for a low resource language, which means they need the data set, they need the word to vector to build out the training data set for their language. And then there could be many, many different things a chatbot could do. I'm not interested in building general AI. I wanted to solve a specific problem using machine translation. So it's a very specific use case that I was talking about, in the business setting, how we are trying to figure out what is the optimal use case. Here we have arrived at machine translation. So that's something that I am personally interested in and working on. And I was very, very impressed because one of my students did exactly that. Let me find out. Onassis. I will find him on LinkedIn so you know what he looks like, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let me share the screen, show you Onassis' profile. Here is Onassis. This is Onassis Notahe. And Onassis was my student at Barcelona Technology School in the Big Data and AI Master's Program last year. He's based out of Barcelona, Spain. And he did this whole session. Okay, that picture is not here, so I'm going to show you the picture. So he did a session, remote session, teaching kids about AI, just foundation of AI in Bahamas. Oh my God, he's doing a lot of things. I can't even get to the picture I'm looking at from his feed. So let me go out and show you the picture. So it was so cute because that is Onassis. He did this using Zoom, and he taught kids in Bahamas AI. So congratulations on Onassis. You made me proud. Okay, so there's bunch of jobs I told you about that I'm going to share in the Jamthe newsletter, and if time permits, I'll come and post this on the LinkedIn here. So yes, I can do that. I think I started with this. AutoGPT is an open source platform for doing agent AI. What is agent AI? Pop quiz for you who have heard me teach this before. So you can automate AI using ChatGPT. Connecting to ChatGPT is the most common one people are doing. Or one of the GPT platforms, and you automate it instead of talking to ChatGPT and say, like I was talking about AI policy, and you say, give me all the updates on AI policy that's happening around the world. Onassis was actually asking me that, and you could actually create an agent AI which would go make this chat and keep finding that and bring it to you. You can run it like a job, which means it's going to query and keep running in an automated fashion. And every time it's going to cost you token money by running inference on the AI LLM. So there's a cost to running it because you're querying the AI again and again. But the idea is agent AI is going to be automating a job that you want the AI to do. So typically when you talk to an AI, it's going to make a decision and it says yes or no, this is good, this is the stock price, this is the housing price, this is the temperature at which the actuator should turn on. It will do things which is a decision it is doing. But what if you wanted to monitor a boiler, a setup, and keep doing this again and again? So that's the automation of the AI. And you could do that with an agent AI. And AutoGPT does that using Python and an open source that's available for download, and has raised $12 million and has become the largest open source project out there. And for those of you who are on my camp of no code, there is agent GPT, which does a similar thing, but it is not does not require coding. And so, in fact, in my last Stanford class, I had showed a demo of the agent GPT, and one of the examples students wanted to do is like, take me to the moon, and we said, why not? Let's try it. And so. I would urge you to try the take me to the moon or something that crazy to see what it does. I'm not going to give that away of what it did. And if you're interested in learning Agent GPT, go try it. It's very straightforward. If you want me to do a demo and walk you through and do something fun with it, I'm happy to do that in one of our future weekly WEDs when we meet on Wednesday. And if you're new to Weekly WED, we do that here on Zoom. This is Sudha Live, where I talk to you, bring opportunities on a Friday night for me here in California, and it's late in Boston and even later in Europe, and early morning in Asia for those of you who are listening in. But the weekly Wednesdays on my morning time at 17-hour in Nigeria, 17-hour in Europe. So it might be better timing for you, for some of you who have a better overlap. And you can come back and watch the recording if you missed that. So I'm hoping that I've timed it my morning and my evening so that you can catch one or the other with us. And as we are talking about the lot of different policy and responsible AI stuff that's happening out in the world, one exciting cutting edge topic in there is about AI is not transparent, especially generative AI is hallucinating. So if AI is built with bad data and it is biased, what happens? So I've had this question to the classes where I've taught before, is if AI has learned something, but just by deleting the data, training data, can it unlearn? And till recently, the answer was no. And one of my favorite examples was Facebook had collected photos that was shared on Facebook and trained a facial recognition system from there. And then when there was this outcry about data being biased and whatnot, Facebook said we have billions of data faces stored. We're going to delete that, and we are not going to run our AI model on that. But the AI model that they already ran was in inference, and they had it, didn't delete it off, which means all that learning it had in it from a privacy standpoint. But from a bias standpoint, if your data is biased again, a set of people, it is biased against a specific culture, or it is biased in a certain in a work setting. Suppose it is biased against a certain country or a region or a segment of customers or something, right? That data, that learning of the AI is already there. So the beauty of AI is it can learn, and it can learn feed forward, right? It can learn forward again and again. So you cannot unlearn it. So Google has come with a new concept called machine unlearning. So you basically give a data set called a forget data set and run a model, which is a machine unlearning model, and the AI would actually forget. You do it till it forgets this particular data set. So that's my understanding of machine unlearning. But the expert on it is our own Yashashwini Vishwanath, Yash, who used to host Weekly Ved till last year. And so she's coming back to Weekly Ved this coming Wednesday. And she is going to be doing a webinar on machine unlearning. And Yash is very technical, so I'm going to ask her to slow down a little bit and explain it such that I can understand this and go into the details of that. So what I'm typing here is I'm trying to show you a sign up. If you're already on Weekly Ved, obviously you'll get access to this, but I want to be able to invite new people who are new to this whole world of Weekly Ved and my world. So I'm going to say bit.ly/machine unlearning. For those of you who are watching this, who don't know any of my other activities, you're just interested in machine unlearning, bit.ly, this is what this URL is called. It's a bit.ly/machine unlearning and Weekly Ved. So the Weekly Ved registration is our usual registration. Once you sign up here, you'll get every week's Weekly Ved. If you didn't want it, you can just sign up for Machine Unlearning 101. It's a webinar. Yash is going to teach us. You can sign up and then you join a list and then you'll get the Zoom link and voila, you can learn machine unlearning. Am I sharing the screen? Yes, I am. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share, not stop the share. I'm going to stop the share. So we spoke about my wonderful ride on a Waymo. I'm so excited about it still. I really, really want one of those Waymos. It was a Jaguar car with the Waymo, and I want to be, riding on it. I want to figure out what else could I do. I mean, if I take that ride every day, I might get bored and say, okay, what am I doing? Why can't I just drive my own car, right? But I'm excited. I'm very, 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 very excited about it. So we spoke a lot about machine unlearning that's coming from Yash, how not to build a chatbot coming from Ken Heron, which is already in recording, no code AI platform from Pierre Lacombe, and bunch of news on AutoGPT and search engines now chatting with us with images too. And tons of jobs and the amazing women from Women in AI Awards. I think that's all I remember. Thank you, everybody, for hanging around with me. I will come back to the LinkedIn. Tag your friends if they are not in the time zone and this is interesting for them. I will come back and add a comment, reply to your questions, take some challenge quiz, whatever you want me to do. But I'm so happy that you're here chatting with me and we get to spend this hour. So I'm going to wrap up. Hope you all stay safe. Have a beautiful weekend. I hope to see you at the Machine Unlearning webinar at Weekly Ved on Wednesday. Otherwise, I'll see you back here on next Friday. Ciao.